Steve, what were your general impressions of that game, and were you happy with the level of aggressiveness that your team showed?
No, and we obviously, they just came out early with a similar, defensive intensity and offensive aggressiveness that they did in the last game, and we weren't ready for it. I think we did miss some makeable shots that we're going to have to make in order to have a chance to win. But like I told the guys, this starts, and we've been talking about this since the first day we knew we were going to play them. We have to compete with them. When you play against a guy like Giannis, who's the ultra competitor, you have to compete with him. Until tonight, I feel like we've done a good job with that. Tonight, we were a step late. I think, obviously, the Eric Bledsoe ball pressure, again, was a big factor in the game. We have to be ready to match that. And I thought we would, and we did not. So I have to do a better job of getting our guys ready to play and believing in committing to a game that can win. There's times, for 2 games, our defense was actually terrific. Tonight, it was really bad. And no matter how many points we score, if we're not going to defend the way we did the first 2 games, and if we're not going to rebound a lot better, we're not going to give ourselves a chance.
Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com.
Cliff, how much early on were the turnovers a problem, and then also them in the fast break? You guys had done a decent job of limiting them in the fast break in the first 2 games, but in the game 3 here, how much was that an issue?
Rocks you. We have to get shots. We have to get quality shots to win, but it's more than anything, we got to get shots. And again, we had turnover issues in the first quarter. I think they end up in the first quarter with either 4 or 6 fast break points and also 5 second chance points. You're going to give them 9 or 11 of those kind of energy effort points a quarter. It's going to be hard to beat them. So we're going to have to get back to playing the way that we've played when we played well this year. Low turnover, win the free throw game, win the rebounding game, and limit their fast break points.
Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel.
Yes, Steve, everybody knows your injury situation. Then Ennis gets tossed. How hard is it? How frustrating is it that you just don't have many options at forward?
No, it definitely makes it harder. I just, at the same time, though, Mike, as you know, in this league, and the players know this, is you've got whoever's healthy has to play as well as they can. And, losing James was a big hit. But we have guys who are capable. It'd be one thing to me if we had played well and, say, lost by 5, and then obviously we're missing some key guys. But, we have to play better. For 2 games, except for the first quarter the other night, we had competed hard, and tonight we just didn't do that.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
What did you see as the cause of many of the turnovers? Was it Bledsoe's ball pressure? Was it off-target passes? Was it?
Well, Bledsoe sets the tone, I believe, for their defense with ball pressure, but they had a collective ball pressure. They were up and into us on every catch, and they pushed us out. So I think that he's terrific at it. He's a big factor, but it was everybody, and we're going to have to be able to play with more force, cut harder, screen better, make quicker decisions. That's what we did the first game, and that'll give us a chance.
Dan Savage, OrlandoMagic.com.
Cliff, I know you guys had spent time trying to find ways to get other guys shots. DJ and Terrence were able to get going a little bit in the second half. Did you like the looks that they were getting better, and did you feel that they, starting to get into a bit of a rhythm?
Well, DJ was good the whole game. I thought in the first half he was our best player. He was the one guy I felt with the ball who played with the type of force that you need to play against this team, and he shot the ball well. So both of those guys had good games. Vooch was actually, still good. He wasn't the other 2 nights. He's been, just incredibly efficient offensively. But the bigger are the team things. We've got to continue to find ways, search for ways that we can consistently get good shots. You need a balance of offense in the playoffs. You got to have a pick and roll game. You got to have a catch and shoot game. You know, we have a post up game. And that's what we're going to have to figure out here the rest of the day and tomorrow.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Steve, is there anything you can do or should try to do to get Evan going? It just seems like he is playing very tentatively and without much force. Maybe that's a result of his illness that he had last week.
Oh, I listen, I think as a coach, you always have to take responsibility. You know, some responsibility. The scoring part and the shooting part, there's always a part of it that's on the utilization from the coach. So I think for sure we look for ways, and then obviously there's, you know, there's some on the player too. I think he's getting back, Josh. I think the time he missed is definitely a factor. I mean, you know, he had to go a few days there where he wasn't able to do anything. So, but for sure, when you're a head coach, listen, you can't pick and choose the things that you want to be responsible for. And I think for every player, coaches you know, take responsibility for how well their guys are playing.
Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel.
Yeah, Coach, can you just talk about how their depth, I mean, they play a bunch of players, 12, 13 players. What sort of problems does that present for you guys?
Yeah, and they're, you know, what they've obviously done, and John Hammond was a big part of it, is they have a superstar in Giannis. You could argue that they have three other starters who are all-star caliber players. Middleton for sure, Bledsoe I voted for, and you could argue Brook Lopez will be first or second team all defense, I would think. And then what they do is they surround those guys with, you know, versatility, skill, and two-way players. So a guy like Wesley Matthews, you know, DiVincenzo, you know, they got veteran guys, Marvin Williams, you know, guys that are good players at both ends of the floor. So I think that for sure they have great depth, and there's a reason why they're the number one seed.
Last question, Roy Perry, Orlando Sentinel.
Well, if you guys did a really good job on Chris Middleton the first couple of games. I know that he got lost a couple of times for some easy three-pointers, and then obviously not having James, you know, for the second half hurt you a little bit. But how did you feel about your team's defensive performance on him today?
Yeah, I thought our defense wasn't good overall. I mean, I'd have to watch. I think they made a concerted effort to, you know, get him open more, get him more shots, and he doesn't need a lot of room. And, you know, once he makes a couple, I mean, he's such a terrific shot maker that, you know, he got going, and then he makes some tough ones. So, you know, Roy, we'll have to watch the film and see what we can do better. But I'll be honest, you know, our whole defensive mentality was wrong tonight from the beginning.
Okay, thank you so much, Cliff.